Holy shit. The central planning push to increase the Canadian tax farm. Wow. I mean, come on, Canada. You must realize that this is going to have some serious ramifications and massive consequences in the future. Headline, CTV News. Nearly half of Canadians will be immigrants. Children of immigrants by 2036, Stats Can. Nearly half will be immigrants or children of immigrants by 2036. This started back in 2011. That's a 25-year time frame. Coincidence? When it comes to central planners, those devious fucks, I highly doubt it. And you know what this is all about, right? Because of shrinking demographics, having a lot less tax cows, tax slaves, tax serfs in Canada, they're looking to bring more in. Or it's always a win-win for the government. So either they become tax serfs, tax slaves, right? Or they become parasites, which the government gets to take care of and keep their positions, their cushy government fucking positions, right? Yeah. That's really what it comes down to, is all about keeping government infrastructure, government spending, big government in place. That's really what it comes down to. So whenever you hear all this fear-mongering going on about, oh, we need them, no. Listen, trust me, there are plenty of Canadians in this country that can take care of their parents, their grandparents, or those that they care about. What it is the fucks that treated their kids and their grandkids like garbage now realize that, they probably won't want to take care of me. So they're looking for using the government as a means to be a backstop against the retaliation of their children and their grandchildren. Fuck you, cocksuckers. Deal with it. Hey, you made the choices in life. Now you got to suffer the consequences. This was published January 25th, 2017. And it's Jackie Dunham from CTV News. I love pointing out who these people that put forth these kind of narratives. And yeah, you have to pay attention to the kind of rhetoric and bullshit that these people espouse. You'll see there's a pattern there, okay? Despite increasing anti-immigrant sentiment in the U.S. and in Europe, Canada's multiculturalism is alive and well and even expected to grow in the coming years, according to a new study by Statistics Canada. So all government bullshit. So yeah, of course the government's going to create good government narrative. Yeah, especially when you're fucking stealing money from the taxpayers to do so. Based on the findings of two population projects or projection reports, the government agency projects that nearly 1 in 2 Canadians, are between 44.2 and 49.9%, could be an immigrant or the child of an immigrant by 2036. In contrast, the combined population of immigrants and second-generation immigrants represented 38.2% of the Canadian population in 2011. So that's a huge fucking drop. Just think about that. In what? So 2011, so a 25-year time frame, you're talking about an increase of 12% of the population. That's a fucking huge number, Canada. That's a huge number for all you people that, that believe in the very concept, the construct of the social contract, right? Where, we take care of each other. The whole premise of why you've been propping up and fucking allowing these central planning fucks to dictate and control and plunder your wealth is, well, at least they're doing it to take care of each other. I suppose a lot of people, and I heard it growing up and I hear it to this day, that's the whole premise. That's the whole excuse. I hear a lot of people, well, yeah, but, we need to do that so we can take care of each other. But now you're seeing, now you're realizing, now you got to have to recognize that's not to take care of each other. It's to take care of your central planning overlords, your political parasites, or your crony fucks, right? All these corporate crony fucks that keep using you to prop them up. The government takes your money to bail them out, right? Or the banksters, right? Are you going to benefit from having people from low-income countries or third-world countries or war-torn countries coming in to compete for your jobs, for your homes, for your living spaces, for everything else, for your communities, for all that stuff? You're going to have to race down to meet them because government's not going to allow you to compete against them on your own level. There's no such thing as government prevents that completely. So you're going to have to try to function in the government environment and compete with these people, which means you're always going to be losers. You're never going to win in that scenario, Canada. The only way is if you follow the lead, and that's the thing I'm always I've said this so many times, and it fucking, It disturbs me tremendously. The UK realized it, United Kingdom, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. They all realized it, and they even said, fuck you, I don't even care what the consequences are, but fuck you fuckers. Psh, pull the lever, Brexit. US, they realized it. The American people realized it right away. Fuck this shit. Who's out in the landscape there's going against all this bullshit? Donald Trump? Psh, pull the lever. Trump wins the presidency by a majority. Hugely. Even 53% of white women said, nah, fuck this shit. Trump, right? Going against, think about what white women chose to go against. Think about the bullshit that they had to hear, that they're going to hear for a long time. But they still said, nah, fuck this shit. Don't want nothing to do with it. Right? But here in Canada, we're stuck with, we don't have people with voices in Canada that are talking like that. That's the sad part. Well, you have people like me, but you hear, is anyone, do you get to hear my voice regularly? I mean, other than you people that have had to weed through. I mean, imagine what it gets to look at my little channel, right? You're not hearing my voice very much, or people with the same kind of narrative that my voice entails very much here in Canada. You're hearing bullshit propaganda. We don't even have like a Fox fucking News, right? We don't have any genuine, even if you look at what's supposed to be our conservative newspaper outlets, the National Post, the Financial Post, a couple of them, I won't throw you all under the table, there are a couple editors and writers, right, that are somewhat conservative, but you're not hearing, like I said, Canadian people, we're always fucking late to the game. We're always at the back of the bus. We're always the last one to show up at the fucking party, right? And the party's about to close down or shut down. Everyone's already drunk, fucking on their way, calling the cabs and everything, and Canada's fine. Yeah, it pisses me off that we're always behind the time. I'm trying my best, people. I'm trying my best to help push us forward so that we're on board with what everyone else in the Western world. Well, look at France with Le Pen. Even the German people are saying fucking to Merkel, fuck you, bitch, we're tired of your shit. Netherlands, Belgium. I mean, think about how many countries now are saying, fuck all this collective bullshit, fuck this progressive bullshit, fuck this political correct culture, fuck this globalist bullshit. We're pushing back against it in Canada. There are, well, as you know, there are people like us that are trying to push back against it, but our voices are squished. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I don't get into the weeds of trying to understand or pretend to even know why Canada's always the last one or late to the game. It's a sad reality. It's something that's always bothered me. Even growing up, I noticed that so many stages, and even as a truck driver, when I would travel in the U.S., different places, we were always so much behind the times. Can we try to catch up? Can we try to at least get on the same level so that we can start to push back against this bullshit? I don't want to look out on the landscape at some stage of the game and realize that we have lost all control over our lives because we allowed the central planners and the control freaks in this country to use the power of government and the power of immigration to completely undermine and circumvent everything that we and our ancestors have fought for countless generations. We can't continue to allow this to fucking happen, people. To get to the point in just a mere, from now, 2016, so now we're 20 years? We've got 20 years to try to unwind this bullshit, Canada. And that's not to say don't go out and be violent or fucking, the people that come here, it's not their fault, right? If you come from a country that was where you were oppressed, violence was used, and all those things that are detrimental to human happiness and their psychology, don't get mad at those people for wanting to come here. Get mad at your central planner fucks and get rid of them. Drain the motherfucking swamp. That's the only way you're going to try to stop and prevent this bullshit from continuing. That's it. Now, I'll put a link to this video, to this article, so you can continue on to read it. It's quite a bit longer, and I expect that you should go in and read this because it is important that you get the full scope and depth of the story. Now, the reason why I don't do it in my videos, and I've said this in prior videos past, is it takes a lot of time to do so. Right now, I'm already at almost 10 minutes. If I went through this whole thing, it'd probably take me to a half hour. A lot of people don't want to put a half hour into learning these things and understand. So I try to cover this as much, the most important aspects of the topic, within a 10, 15, 20-minute time frame so that I don't drag things out any further. But I will put a link to this video so you can listen to it. But really, I need you people to not just pay attention to what I'm saying, but help disseminate this kind of information by sharing and subscribing and liking, so that others, sharing is the most important thing. You need to share. You know, I'm glad that you're smart enough and wise enough to listen to things like, not just me, but other people have to say, but help others be wiser by sharing the content. You know, they might, even if they don't want to listen to it right away, maybe they will in the future. If at first you don't succeed, try it again. Skinny Libertarian, and I love liberty.